All right, let's just jump right into a wild one today. We're going to take one of the most basic rules of the universe, right? The thing that keeps your feet on the ground and the planets in their orbits. And we're going to ask a really simple but kind of terrifying question. What if we could just flip it? The craziest thing about gravity is this paradox. I mean, think about it. It's so weak, you can beat the entire planet's pull just by hopping off the ground. But at the same time, on a cosmic scale, it's the master architect of, well, everything. It's the silent contract that holds our whole world together. And we're about to imagine tearing that contract up. So let's start the clock. Picture it. Someone, somewhere, flips a switch, and poof, gravity on Earth is instantly reversed. We're not talking a slow fade, this is immediate. What on earth happens in that first insane second? Well, it would be violent in a way that's hard to even imagine. Instead of pulling everything down, the Earth is now pushing everything away with that same relentless force. The first thing to go? Our atmosphere. Just gone, bleeding into space. The pressure drops to zero. In 10 seconds, anything not literally welded down is shooting skyward at over 220 miles per hour. A minute in, and you're talking about entire cities, oceans, everything, just being launched into the cold, silent void. As completely horrifying as that is, what's happening on the surface is really just the opening act. The real problem goes deeper. Much, much deeper. Let's zoom out to the planetary scale, because this is where things get truly chaotic. Okay, so the problem really starts at the Earth's core. Get this, it's under about 3.5 million times the atmospheric pressure you and I feel right now. For billions of years, gravity has been squeezing that molten heart. You take that inward force away, the core explodes outward. I mean, the pressure release would literally tear the planet's crust apart from the inside, shattering continents. Our world wouldn't just be wiped clean, it would be unmade. And that explosion just ripples outward. The moon, our constant companion, it gets shot out of orbit like a stray cannonball. The planets, including what's left of Earth, they just stop turning around the sun. They just keep going, flying off in straight lines into the endless dark. Our whole solar system, this beautiful, intricate dance, it completely falls apart in a matter of hours. And what about the big guy at the center of it all? The sun itself wouldn't be safe. Oh no. In fact, it would have the most spectacular end of anything. You see, every star is basically this constant battle between its own crushing gravity pulling in and the massive outward blast of nuclear fusion in its core. With gravity suddenly gone, that battle is over. The outward pressure of fusion wins, instantly. The sun would detonate in a thermonuclear explosion that would unleash an absolutely mind-boggling 10 to the 38th power joules of energy. That's enough to vaporize every single planet, no questions asked. And this would happen to every star everywhere. The universe would pretty much turn its own lights out. Okay. Wow. Let's all take a deep breath. Universal annihilation is a lot. But how could any of this even work physically? Like, how do you actually reverse gravity? Well, the answer is woven into the very fabric of space and time. So, according to Einstein's general relativity, gravity isn't really a force that pulls you, not in the classic sense. It's actually just geometry. The idea is that massive things, like planets and stars, literally bend and curve the fabric of space-time around them. And other objects, like us, are just following those curves. That's what we feel as gravity. Think of it like this. Regular matter, what we call positive mass, is like putting a bowling ball on a trampoline. It creates a dip, a well that things fall into. So if you wanted to reverse gravity, you'd need something different, a theoretical negative mass. This stuff would do the exact opposite. It would create a hill in space-time, actively pushing everything else away. So reversing gravity isn't just flipping a force, it's flipping the entire geometry of the cosmos. All right, let's totally shift gears for a second. What if this wasn't some cosmic accident? What if, instead, it was a technology, a tool that humanity could control, safely and precisely? What would that world even look like? The possibilities are, well, almost utopian. Just imagine it. Transportation would be totally revolutionized. You could lift massive ships, maybe even whole buildings with almost no energy. Space travel, it becomes as easy as turning off the gravity and just floating away from Earth. No rockets needed. We could build these incredible, silent cities that hover in the clouds. We could even generate limitless clean energy. It's a completely remade world, a paradise built on mastering physics itself. But we all know how these things go. Any technology that powerful always has a dark side. A tool that can build a paradise can also, inevitably, create a hell. Because, let's be honest, control over gravity would be the ultimate form of power. I mean, think about it. Why bother with a nuke when you can just lift an entire enemy city into space? The country that has this technology would rule the world, period. It would create a gap between the haves and have-nots so huge you can't even measure it. It would redefine power, wealth, and war forever. So, when you peel back all the science fiction, you're left with this really profound idea. Gravity isn't just some physical law. It's kind of like the universe's instinct to hold itself together. It's that great paradox again. It's the weakest force, the one you beat just by jumping, but it's also the grandest expression of unity, the connection that allows everything to exist in the first place. Which brings us to this really powerful thought from the source material. We tend to think of gravity as this thing holding us down, right? A prison we want to escape. But maybe it's the exact opposite. Maybe it's the fundamental agreement that makes reality stable and ordered and, whole. So I guess I'll just leave you with this question. We always dream of breaking free, of floating without any limits. But if gravity is both the weakest chain and the strongest bond holding our reality together, what would we actually lose by cutting that tie? What would it really mean to be completely and truly untethered?